opposed, right? Every outside influence is training. All of it, right? So you have to try and isolate them.
Andrew Tate had a video leaked from a war room session, okay? His war room, for those who don't know, is basically a group chat you can join for the humble price of about $8,000 US. It's a higher tier within his, Hustlers University. The war room is like the highest level within his hierarchy, okay? That's where you're a real G. You get the one-on-one consultations with the big man himself. And yes, there has been a video leak that we will get into. We have these beautiful, cute little NPC fellas, okay, that we are going to be selling in the very near future, okay? Look at this. I got this little fella right here. Oh, plunk, plunk, plunk. Whoa, very cool. Custom branded Goka merch, dude. Yes, there has been a leaked video from one of Andrew Tate's war room sessions, and guess what? I found the video so fascinating, so genuinely for me personally, kind of mind-blowing. Not really because I'm surprised at what he's saying, but because I finally, after all this time, after painting the picture of who Andrew Tate is and the kind of guy that he actually is and the way that his genuine orientation is toward domination, okay, especially interpersonally with the women that he interacts with, all right? He has consistently professed techniques, strategies, lifestyle choices oriented around dominating the women that he claims to love, okay? And now finally with this clip, we have him mask off, going through the isolation tactics, the way that he manipulates the environment entirely around the women he's focusing on. And basically, it really is, to a large degree, him very clearly expressing his tactics and methods for predating on these women. Okay, especially when you get a bit of a grander context on them. It's not looking good for our boy Tate. Here we go. Okay, the unfortunate, I would say, reality that is Tate's tactics for manipulating, isolating, and securing his women. All right, here we go. It might be a little bit hard to hear. I will try and fill you in where it might be hardest, but here you can see. All right, Jay Waller. Okay, another esteemed member of the Red Pill, I don't know, basically men's self-help community, okay, who's very much adjacent to Tate, okay? These guys work together, or at the very least are very friendly, okay? Have a lot of collaborations together. He sits postured in a very, very serious way, I guess, as Tate outlines his sinister methods. So let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to be very careful with this, and I'm very careful when I talk about this, because I don't want anyone to be autistic.
Okay, he needs to be careful when he talks about this, not because necessarily, he's worried about getting canceled, because he's speaking to his war room right now, okay? And he wants to give his war room genuine value. That's why they're paying $8,000 a month, maybe? I don't know, they're paying a lot of money. And so he wants to avoid, his big concern is that they're going to be autistic about it. Now let's see what this entails.
But if you really want to truly solo off a chick, she's yours. When I say she's
If you want to solo off a chick, she's yours.
yours, she really insists on seeing them, they're going to have a big influence over her. And it is in your best interest to get her away from that social circle.
Right. Okay, so we're less than 30 seconds into this video, and already he is dropping one of the most important things I've been trying to echo about Tate's strategies, okay? The alienation, okay? Now, I'm not going to just sit here and morally grandstand and call Tate, evil or immoral or anything like that. You could definitely have that opinion of him, okay? But Tate operates in a very amoral way. Although, of course, he postures nowadays, so much posturing. In reality, okay, I'm going to explain to you why, not only how this is manipulation, whatever, but also why this is a recipe for disaster, and this is brutal advice and will lead to you being alienated on top of your girl, all right? And so, already, he is saying a big one, which is strip away her social circles. I'm going to let him talk, but trust, there will be some unpacking to do, okay?
You don't want her out, whoever saying whoever.
You don't want her out doing whatever, saying whatever, and women can't shut the up. So he's talking about how if you basically leave a woman to their social circle, if you allow them to have this outside influence upon them, some people who, maybe even people who care about them, right? Friends, right? Basically, Tate is saying these external influences will poison the well against you, okay? They will basically provide a lens that will be critical toward you. They will sow seeds of doubt in your relationship in her head, okay, and turn her against you. Now, there's the obvious thing to point out of well, in the case of Tate, actually, it would make sense for somebody who cares about these women to try and point out the ways that Tate is isolating them and f***ing up their life. But let's let him talk. Well, my husband wouldn't do that, even though the bitch is lying.
It gets in their head, right? So you have to try and isolate them. And things
Like, he just says it, the quiet part gets said out loud behind the scenes, which is so beautiful to see, right? Because this is an authentic mask off moment for the first time in a long time, okay? Because Tate has, since he has blown up, he has become much more careful about the way that he speaks. This is the inner circle, and he is being dead ass. You need to isolate them, okay? The things we talk about thus far, selling the dream, adding excitement.
Her never catching you slipping.
Catching you slipping is crazy, but I understand where this idea comes from, but let's keep it going. All these things tie into isolating her. Goddamn.
These things tie into isolating her and taking her away from the outside influences. Every outside influence is your enemy.
Every outside influence is your enemy. You don't let your chick hang around dudes. That's a hard rule. Oh, it's crazy because it's to describe this as insecure, right? It doesn't do it a proper service at all in any way, because this is beyond insecurity. This is literally a conscious decision to isolate someone for the sake of maintaining complete domination over them. Okay, this is not just insecurity. There's so much more that goes into this. And again, I will explain how when you seek to dominate somebody, that is not necessarily in any way really of benefit even to you. Certainly not to them, but definitely not to you either, okay? And just to give one reason for this, all right? People's psyches, believe it or not, are actually pretty fragile. And not because they're weak necessarily, not because, there's anything necessarily even wrong with them. People's psyches are fragile because all humans, our experiences are built on lack, okay? Our experiences are built on insecurity, all right? If we're going to get into Lacan, there's the imaginary, there's the symbolic, and then there's the real. And what is the real? What is the foundation that basically all of our lives are built upon? I'll give you one reason as to why I see guys liking Tate, resonating with him, thinking that he's spitting facts, whatever. There's a couple reasons that can exist as to why a guy would look up to or like Tate. Number one is they're young, okay? Young and inexperienced. That's a big one, okay? And that's a pill to swallow. If you're a young guy and you kind of resonate with him, and look, I understand why someone would find him funny or entertaining. He's shocking. He's not politically correct, all this stuff. But if you genuinely hear things like this and you're like, this guy's spitting, well, you might be young and inexperienced, okay? Young and inexperienced, it makes sense if you are inexperienced that you would want a woman who's inexperienced and also to have project this insane amount of control over her life, if that makes sense, right? Because, you don't necessarily know even what you want. Everything that you think you want is built on fantasy because you have not experienced it yet. And so you'll project those fantasies and you'll listen to Tate and he'll kind of help you shape a more clear image of a fantasy and you'll believe in it, right? But another big thing is that people just don't know the depths of Tate, right? Like they'll listen to his more mass appeal, self-help type, which is like, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, quit being a type shit, go to the fucking gym, what are you, a pussy? And that resonates with a lot of guys, including me. I've resonated with that without a doubt throughout my life, okay? Definitely have that within me where it's like, you know what, I like what this guy's saying, I just gotta be a man, right? Here's the thing. When you get into the nitty gritty when it comes to Tate, okay, this guy, foundationally, is amoral, okay? And I don't even say this as a diss. It is literally just exemplified in every way through his actions, all right? He says many times, yes, he was a world-class kickboxer or whatever you would say. He says he made very little money doing that. And so, how did he end up finally making his money? He had multiple girlfriends that he didn't tell each other about. He invited them all to the UK, and he told them about this cam industry. 2 of them ended up staying, and he basically began exploiting these women. By the way, one of these women was at the very least 15 to 16 years old. Vivian, for those who don't know. This is a known variable that Tate did exploit a very young woman in the early days of his cam studio. That aside, all right, the bigger kind of grander critique I would give of Tate is that he basically created his wealth, okay, his power, whatever you'd say, his influence, off the backs of these women that he was exploiting, okay? And so he would isolate them, as he's literally describing right here, right? He would basically cut them off from a lot of their social circles. He would bring them to his domain, which means he would fly them out to Romania, away from their own country, right? In some cases, potentially would take their passports, which again, this is another avenue of control, right? Or isolation. Pretty obvious one. He would be their boss, okay? He was in charge of them, their finances, whatever. He would be their landlord. They lived with him, whatever. He was in control of what the living situation was. And he would be their lover. This is such a insane triangle of control. It doesn't even begin to describe the level that this can affect somebody's psyche, okay? You would not be insane for acting insane in a circumstance like this, okay? And let me explain why. Because when you have, okay, so people's psyches, they are kind of built on pillars, all right? And so a lot of social circles that you have in your life kind of help to provide a pillar, not just for who you are, but like how you receive your confidence and affirmation and feel like you're kind of doing something productive or you're fulfilled in life, okay? So it's like you have your family, you have your friends, you have your school peers or your teachers, you have your boss, you know, and your coworkers. These are all pillars within your life. Guess what Tate does? Bye-bye to friends, bye-bye in a lot of cases to family. He's the boss. He's the lover. You're not going to school. He is the one pillar in your life, okay? And again, we're going to listen. He is describing now to his highest paying customers, people who are absolutely successful, because to be paying $8,000 a month, potentially, to this war room, you have to be successful in some capacity. So, at the top of this hierarchy, he is basically advocating for the one pillar, the one social pillar strategy, okay? The isolating strategy. And why is this not even desirable to you as, you know, the person in control of this other person? Well, the answer is pretty simple. When you are the one pillar holding up somebody's psyche, their entire world, affecting so much of their life, even the slightest hint, potentially even something that could be misunderstood, just the weirdest interaction with this person, the slightest amount of like, you know, shade that you could give them will destroy their imaginary and symbolic world and expose them to the real, which is the absence, nothing, and they will go insane. Or usually it's both of these things happen, but the other extreme of this is that they will go into learned helplessness, which basically means they will become a depressed shell of a person. Usually, okay, the kicking and screaming route, which is, you know, the crazy route, whatever people label as hysterical, whatever the that is usually the route that is manifested because it's like, you know, somebody who genuinely realizes and feels powerless, what are they going to do? They are going to kick and scream to try and regain any kind of control. With enough time passing, okay, and that not proving effective, the kicking and screaming, people can fall into a learned helplessness. And guess what? In either circumstance, do you want to be in a relationship with someone who is that anchored to you that they end up falling into a learned helplessness? Doesn't sound too exciting to me, but yeah.
She's that bitch's chick, right? That's the person. She goes back down to Tristan's frame of hoe. Yeah, so from main
goes back down to Tristan's frame of hoe. That's fascinating. So we got Jay Waller chiming in with an allusion to a prior conversation which was not added to this leaked video, where Tristan, I guess, was expounding upon the concept of a hoe. Okay, let's see. By the way, Tristan Tate, a guy who has gone on record bragging about thousands of women, basically a human toilet seat, effectively. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting the levels of contradictions that these guys embody. Not much thought being put into philosophy, let's put it like that. So from the main chick to side chick, all the way back down to the bottom hoe. Damn, thank you, Jay Waller, for chiming in. For those who don't know, the bottom hoe, this concept has been explained by Tate before he blew up, okay, when he was more authentically in the red pill space. His big claim to fame was the lover boy method. He made his girls fall in love with him before he exploited them online. And he explains that you need a bottom bitch. Here, Mr. J. Waller calls it a bottom hoe. And what does that mean? Well, the bottom hoe, guess what? It's a pretty simple concept. It's your woman who is already on your side, who you have already isolated, and who is already completely, basically, enslaved in a lot of ways to you, okay? You get that woman, who you know is on your team, to talk to other women and to basically advocate in your favor, okay? This basically makes it so that the women trust you more, right? Because it's like a woman sees another woman trusting you. Oh, it's like affirmation, okay? And so the title that these guys bestow upon this person who helps them in their conquests or whatever you would say is the bottom bitch, okay? So, yeah, by the way, Tate's bottom Vivian, 15 to 16 when he first started dating her, so.
And there are hoes. There's some chicks I know that are just hoes. I got some chicks who are 15 out of 10. They're beautiful. I bang them every time I see them. I know they do shit with you hoes. I don't fall off them. I get for hoes. Hoes are hoes.
I don't want them. They're just hoes. Hoes are hoes.
Right? So you have to keep that frame in mind. But in terms of like isolating them from their friendship.
In terms of isolating them from their friendships.
It's not actually that difficult to do.
It's not that difficult to do. Oh man, it's so mask off. It's so what I've been talking about. Just perfectly plain text, just plain English. Him laying out the method. I love it, dude. I love it because this is the reality with Tate. Okay, you are seeing his real fucking face, not the projected face that he's been trying to maintain for a decent amount of time. All right, this is the real world.
Because women, people always talk about women being history. I will hard disagree with that. I think women will tell you anything you fucking want. You start coaxing out, they can't.
Women will tell you anything you want to know. You just gotta coax it out of them. They can't shut up.
You can't shut the fuck up. You can sit there. Next time your friends come over, when they leave, just say, "What was Leanne doing?" Like, well, I don't know. She's like, she has an evil look on her face.
I see. So he's saying that sowing seeds of doubt in a woman's head is very easy. You just have to ask a question that implies there's a problem with one of her friends, and then I'm assuming he'll say that she'll do the rest.
Oh well, actually, last week she said this.
Right. And so he's saying that once you kind of subtly hint at a threat from one of her friends, then the partner, the person you're with, whatever, they might mention some other issues with the relationship and whatever. And so with that, he can play off of it, I guess.
Bullshit. They'll do it to themselves. You can say, oh yeah, she just seemed to be jealousy when we were talking. Some garbage. You can pry out.
So keep in mind, right, like he's not even talking about actually identifying issues with the friend and ways that the friend is mistreating the woman. He is literally saying, lie, sow seeds of doubt to isolate this woman who might speak ill of you, which if this is your methods, by the way, she would be a good friend for speaking ill of you, okay? Let's be deadly clear about that. If you were dating this guy, and this guy is as Machiavellian as we are witnessing right now, okay? And honestly, the term Machiavellian is actually doing a huge disservice to Machiavelli, all right? This is just straight up self-interest and manipulation, okay? If you have a friend who talks shit, or at the very least just is concerned about you, if you're seeing a guy like this, that's a good friend. Tate, he just views it as literally a f***ing enemy.
He said, yeah, me and Leanne Martin last week, you get to sit down and say, you know what, there's some things I'm working on. If that money comes in, I really don't want to hang out with Leanne.
Wow. Okay, this is so wild, man, because it's just so on the nose. It's incredible. Yeah, so he's basically saying, you know how we've been talking about selling the dream. So another segment that we didn't see that happened before this recording, he's talking about these guys, how you need to sell a dream to the women. That makes perfect sense, of course. How the fuck else is he going to end up convincing them to become cam girls? All right? Of course, he's got to sell them a dream of an idyllic lifestyle. And he mentions, well, you've already sold this woman the dream, you've got to mention to her, well, I have a bunch of money coming in and I don't want any stressors. And so when that money comes in, I don't want Leanne around. So basically leveraging the dream that he sold the woman to gain leverage and control over her interpersonal relationships. It's real sinister shit. I mean, if you feel a certain level of adrenaline in your veins listening to this, I would understand, because there's so many dimensions that this is fascinating to me. And the biggest one is just finally getting that good hard glimpse.
It turns out, oh honey, and they wonder where all those
dude. It's not manipulation. This is where he goes and falls into just complete cope. This is cope. This is manipulation. Okay, he's viewing it as just a game. All right, dealing with people's lives like it's just a game. And I mean, you can view people's lives as just a game, but don't lie to yourself. This is manipulation. That's just cope. And so yeah, the level of I guess transactional analysis, the level of just complete disregard for autonomy, obviously all that aside, this just goes to show you, all right, that there are people in this world less competent or less calculated than Tate who will try and do these same things to you. Get how he basically says that this can be this rift that he basically created, effectively at least expanded between you and your friend, okay? Leanne, he's calling her, okay? The rift that he created, he says he basically turns it into a strength for him, right? Because now he basically positions it as like, it's you and Tate against the world and Leanne, you know what I mean? It's almost like you're on Tate's team against Leanne in a way, right? And it becomes a bit dramatic, it gets a bit emotional, and guess what? When your relationship decays or explodes with Leanne, well, your relationship with Tate just became a lot more important in your life, right? So that's another way. He just exploded, destroyed another pillar of your own psyche. And what's left? This guy.
Easy too, because secretly, don't sell her a drink, don't give her any drama. Leanne turns up, oh, Leanne.
It's crazy. Giving her drama is a part of the fucking strategy. I've heard this before. It's called polarization. The basic idea is if you want someone to get invested in you, you need them to feel emotions toward you. And guess what? Those emotions don't have to be positive. If you basically make someone feel negative emotions, they will be thinking about you more still. And if you're more erratic around them, they'll basically be thinking about you more because they don't know how you react to certain things. You'll slowly, every decision you make, you'll be putting them into consideration. And look, man, you can argue the effectiveness of this, especially in the short term. In the long term, I never think this is effective, all right? And for many reasons. But in the short term, you could argue, oh yeah, this shows this, you can reap something with this strategy, but don't lie to yourself. This is manipulation. These are manipulation strategies. This is not a standard interaction. This is you trying to manipulate someone. So just be honest about your intention. I don't like the fact that he's coping so hard.
And they wonder where all those
Attacking frame is actually really easy too. Oh, thank you, Jay Waller. Thanks, man. You see the language, bro? They literally view this as a war. I attack her friend's frame. Fascinating. The level of consideration these guys put into manipulating their social environment. Shut up, Gokanaru. The real thing you should be advertising is our brand new Hubert NPCs. Did you enjoy the Sneeko video? Do you desire the love and companionship that comes with owning a Hubert of your own? Well, then you should head to gokamerch.com and sign up for the email list. It's easy. Just take a look at one of our satisfied customers.
You open it.
Oh, that's hard. A little bite! Wow, look at that smile. Making a friend has never been easier with our new Hubert NPCs. Sign up to the gokamerch.com email list today so that you'll be the first to be notified when Huberts go on sale. Only a limited quantity will be sold. So sign up. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, domination. This isn't Control Freak, okay? It's domination strategies. And again, when you dominate somebody, guess what the end result usually is? Kicking and screaming, learned helplessness. Not a happy f***ing relationship, but maybe in the short term.
We get the truck, she's like, well, of course she's not. She doesn't respect it. And didn't she the one that said she wanted to go to Vegas on a girls trip? Every one of her friends, because I think it's easy because every one of her friends' men are fucking pussies. Yep. So it's all right there. They're an example of what we're teaching not to be. So
that's wild, bro. Wow, I'm kind of brain broken because look, a lot of people have lifted Jay Waller as some kind of more moderate or like at the very least a more legitimate kind of voice in the men's self-help community. I have not done that in the slightest. I have thought this guy's a clown for a good while. I've identified that in a number of ways. But to hear it so straight up, yeah, man. My only desire is that his girl sees this. That's crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Okay, as this clip has progressed, it's just kind of like there's not much like overt criticism I could give you that's not just me like repeating myself. You know what I mean? This is just pressing in a lot of ways. And that's also how she'll get her superiority over other women. Goddamn. Yeah, so I mean, basically what I was saying, you become the number one pillar in her life, and she begins to orient her entire life around serving, impressing, not upsetting you, okay? And of course, this is the thing that people really overlook. Of course, on paper, to a lot of guys, especially...
I'm a bad boy. Counter. Actual domination requires consent, communication and aftercare. Both they and yourself are not outlining or describing doming. They're describing intentional and malicious abuse. There is a difference. They should not be equated.
Okay, when I speak on domination, just to be clear, I'm not speaking in a fucking like. Of course, there's you could interlink it with like a sexual fetish or whatever you'd say, but I am speaking on textbook domination, wanting complete control over somebody's life. Okay, that is, from what I'm aware, the definition of domination: having complete autonomy, control over someone else or something else. Now, of course, it's not that much of a coincidence in my head that, yeah, okay, it's been kind of revealed that Tate's fetish, his sexual fetish, is also domination, as we have seen the videos leak of him hitting his partners, okay, specifically Vivian, smacking him in the fucking face, whatever, all this shit. And okay, there's claims of consent and all this stuff. The sexual aspect is less interesting to me than the actual concrete reality of the way that he orients his relationships. It is toward domination, okay? And again, to somebody without experience, to somebody who, even in some cases, to people who have been disenfranchised or are very alienated or who have very little control in their own lives, right? Maybe there are people who their parents are very controlling, or they work a really job and their boss treats them like or they don't feel very, academically affluent. They feel like when they go to school, they're not in any kind of control. Of course, selling this dream, which Tate sells you, he sells a vision of basically having complete control, having all the money, all the women, all the autonomy, all the power, all the strength, all the... Absolutely, I understand the appeal of these things. The thing that I would say, though, is, first of all, going to the gym is a good thing. Yes, I like that. But just because Tate says it doesn't mean he's a good guy. Every sincere self-help person will advocate for physical activity, going to the gym. It's so basic, it's not anything new, okay? The competitive advantage that Tate brought to the table to really ascend himself was shitting on women, and when you got deeper into his courses, was how to exploit, manipulate, and dominate women, okay? And, again, where does that leave you at the end of the day? With someone that you have complete control over, and where every action that you do, whether toward them or other people, will affect them dramatically, okay? A mentally unstable person. And if you don't believe me, okay, because I would understand that, I'm just a random on the internet, right? You should take a look at the manifestation of the Tate's own relationships. For those who don't know, Tristan Tate is famous. I don't know. He went on a stream and talked about how he deprived one of his baby mamas of a place to live because she wasn't following his orders. And he basically frames it as, guess what? Because of your actions, our daughter will not have a nice place to play in the garden or whatever, okay? And so, again, exercising his domination over a certain woman, she's trying to lash out, gain some control in the dynamic, and Tate is like, okay, strip you of your housing, you live in an apartment now, all right? Do you think that relationship is loving? I don't know. In my head, love in a typical fashion involves sacrifice. All right. And I don't just say that in a hippy dippy way. I mean it in the sense that you won't know what it is you love until you find yourself making exceptions for it. Okay. When you find yourself making exceptions for someone or something, and you have no concrete means of benefiting by doing that. Okay. In the sense of, it's not like some weird business move. It's not necessarily a manipulative tactic. When you find yourself making exceptions for someone or something of no prospect of benefit to yourself, out of your own sincere want to just make the exception. That, in my head, is a lot closer to an act of love than anything that these guys are talking about. In fact, if they heard me talking about love, they'd probably think I'm a fucking sucker. Because what am I doing? I'm literally telling you that it basically requires sacrifice. And these are guys who want it all. They want to dominate. Okay? And so, yes, we're going to go over a Twitter thread that Tristan Tate recently found himself bogged down in, all right? And I think that it is worth exploring for many reasons, but mostly because I'm very glad to see these guys losing legitimacy within their own communities, all right? Their own communities are beginning to understand the deeper layers, the level of unironic, principled self-interest that they exude. And although most people with eyes would be able to see this, I understand why a lot of people would turn a blind eye because these people were popular. The Tate brothers, there was, believe it or not, there were sects of the internet where it was very popular to prop up the Tate brothers, or at the very least not to talk them, okay? A lot of cowards in the men's self-help sphere. It doesn't take just muscles to be brave, bro. But here we go, all right? This is a interaction with PDB, someone who has a lot of followers, and honestly, I don't care why. Hey Tristan, my last DM didn't go through because you blocked me. I know it's gonna... I'm glad to hear that.
If you are going to silence my opinion, it'll make you see it like the cowards you are. You have to forgive others for their past, for his sins, like Jesus has. He is a human like you, and Tate does a lot of positive in the world today, like Tate pledge.
If you are going to silence my opinion, I'll make you see it like the cowards you are. You have to forgive others for their past, for his sins, like Jesus has. He is a human like you, and Tate does a lot of positive in the world today. Okay. Thank you for the 420. Thank you for sending me money, IZ Bucket. I don't know who is silencing you, okay? I'm not hyper vigilant on the whatever, the YouTube chat while we're unpacking something like this. But look, I have not come on here and said, oh, there is zero what's the word? There's zero redeeming qualities to Tate. In fact, I've done the opposite. I've basically identified that there are some avenues that I could understand why someone would enjoy watching Tate's content, or, you know, kind of find it motivating, whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't want people to cope, okay? And what you're doing with that, what you just sent me, is cope, all right? You're saying that I need to forgive his past sins when Tate doesn't even identify those past actions as sins. Do you understand? He does not. Zero times, even when confronted about it, does he even remotely accept the frame that anything he has done has been a sin, all right? And yes, there's multiple reasons for this, but at the end of the day, I'm not out here, I'm not the judge and jury, bro. I'm not the moral arbiter. I'm not claiming to be that. But we're going to point to what Tate is doing and what he's done as what it is. It's exploitation. It's domination, attempting to dominate. And it's also, judging by this video that we've just watched, still exactly how he thinks behind the scenes. You're alluding to some past behavior or actions. It's like, no, look, he's still teaching this right now. Right? So yeah, I appreciate you sending money, and that you feel, you know, sincere, whatever. If you have learned from Tate and you feel like you've gained from Tate, that's a good thing. I appreciate that. I think, especially when it comes to kind of physical fitness and honestly just willpower, spirit, whatever you would say, like Tate, say what you want about Tate. Yes, he embodies a kind of an impressive aura or spirit. He is a lively motherfucker. All right, and that is kind of what allows him to manipulate on the mass scale that he does, but also to succeed in his own personal endeavors, right? Like to become a kickboxing professional is not easy, all right? You need a big will, a spirit, whatever you would say. And again, if you've empowered yourself and if you feel like you have improved as a person since you've started listening to him, I get it. But in the same way that you're, for some reason, kind of drawing a slight parallels between Jesus and Tate, okay, you have to acknowledge the fundamental fact, right, that Jesus was human, okay? And being human comes with a whole lot of baggage. And in the case of Tate, a whole lot of baggage comes along with Tate. And so if you're going to turn a complete blind eye to that baggage, guess what? That's not just bad on any moral level. It's bad because I actually would be worried for you. I would be worried that by turning a complete blind eye to the more nefarious, or at the very least, less long-term, in your genuine interest behaviors, right? Because a lot of what Tate teaches is not long-term in your interest, okay? Dominating a person is not in your interest long-term. It is exhausting. It's exhausting for you, it's exhausting for the other person, and it inevitably leads to an explosion usually, okay? Or at the very least, one of the partners becoming, you know, helpless, right? Anyway, all this to say, I don't think that turning a blind eye to, you know, a lot of the criticism or a lot of the very valid realities as to how Tate operates will serve you very well in your life, okay? Because if you turn such a blind eye to it, you might end up making the same fucking mistakes as our boys Tate, all right? Which I'm going to go into some of these mistakes. And again, this is not just me trying to tear them down a peg and be like, haha, what a It's more so trying to show that this lifestyle that they sell, that they teach, that they believe and embody, it is not the answer, okay? Learn by example, okay? In my life, a lot of the people whom I've looked up to the most, okay, and this happens for a lot of people, even with their parents, right? This is a big stage in life, is like realizing that your parents aren't perfect. Okay, well, what do you do when you realize your parents aren't perfect? Do you completely ignore that fact and just, you know, just operate under the assumption that they are perfect and continue everything that they're doing exactly the same? Do you completely cut them off and just be like, they're a piece of shit, they're garbage, whatever? Maybe, but in reality, usually, in my head, the best method is to acknowledge the imperfections or the ways that they fall short and to try and improve and be a better person than those who came before, right? So, this guy, PDB, he appeals to Tristan Tate, okay? Andrew Tate's brother. I know it's going to sting someone like you that's obsessed with consumerism and the idea of what true wealth really is. Materialistic minds suffer with this, but I'm richer than you. Not only with numbers, but with the family. I have all the time in the world, all the money, and the platform to be a degenerate hunter. Oh, I see. Okay, so I believe it's because this guy, PDB, recently turned on Tate, and Tate probably alluded to the fact that he's like a loser who's just spending his time hunting him down. And so this guy's like, yeah, I have all the money and family, and I don't give a I'm going to spend my time calling you a loser and a degenerate, which in a lot of ways, the Tate's lifestyles absolutely are effectively embody, to me at least, degeneracy. Okay. But hey, well, let's get into it. So yeah, it shows, I guess, Talisman Tate has blocked you. It says, delusional peasant, yawn, richer than you. And then Tate blocked him. Okay, here we go. PD is absolutely awesome for taking the rates on best timeline imaginable. Here we go. So here's Tristan's reply. Let's keep the full DM thread on display then. No issue. Today marks my second ever interaction with you. I replied nice after you kissed my ass, then ghosted you. Fans cry when you don't reply, I guess. Good luck. So this is the full conversation, which I don't care too much for, but we can read it. Okay, here we go. It's basically this PDB guy saying, I don't know why I was drawn to message you this morning. I'm sure your inbox is filled with people vying for your attention. God wants me to. I want you and your brother to know what God has a purpose for you. I'm a businessman that also has been attacked by the government. The DOJ has come after me hard. I'm the last and I'm still battling them, all because I risked it all providing better baby formulas. Oh, okay. It's a long story and one I'll tell more when my story is closed. I've thrown 100K parties and I've been done business with celebrities. In the end, it's my kids that matter the most. I see the same in you. Don't waver and continue your path into light. You are almost there. I see us working together in true future. All right. I'm talking through God this morning. Sometimes I allow the Spirit to flow through me. In any case, battle on, brother, and keep the faith. So yes, this is basically glazing, whatever you'd say. Okay. Brother, I really appreciate the message. It's one thing when guys at the bottom write me support messages because they found me a source of help, but when legit made guys like you offer encouragement, it lifts my spirits. I won't let them beat me. Let's have a coffee together one day, brother. Yeah, we have to stick together at the top. Not many of us. I'm in Greece all summer with family, etc., etc. Hopefully at that time I'm not coming to Romania. Be free to go anywhere and we can meet on a Greek island. No profit involved, just pure love and strength. Okay, so basically a bunch of fucking replies, whatever. Our DMs are full of you kissing my ass. Why are you posting crap on my posts? Who even are you? I'm the man that changed organic baby formula and is battling the FDA. I didn't know you did the things you did. I thought you were a businessman that was caught up in a witch hunt like I was. My DMs are flooded with people showing me degeneracy and perversion. Why, bro? Delusional peasant, yawn. So, this PDB guy basically kissed Tristan Tate's ass without knowing really what he actually has done or does, right? For those, by the way, who don't know, like the Tate brothers, they claim pretty regularly that they no longer make money off of cam studios. This is not accurate. They are still invested in cam businesses, okay? They just don't operate them, all right? Anyway, here's PDB. Why are you lying, Tristan? Why so nervous? I thought you were simply someone that's been targeted for wrong things, so I expressed for you to be strong as I battle a legal fight as well. We had mutuals. I assumed you were a good quality dude from the streets, just like me. You aren't. Now I know, as I've been flooded with videos, taking girls' virginity, underage sex videos, acting like girls take horny guys' money. Why are you lying, Tristan? We have talked more than that. You deleting stuff now as well? Damn, by October 2023, it was well known what Andrew and Tristan were getting up to. The videos you are posting now were already circulating. You messaged him praising him. He messaged back in a polite manner. Your low IQ type gets excited when people you idolize throw you a little bone. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because, yes, okay, that's an accurate appraisal. This guy was glazing them, and then he learned who they, I guess, are or whatever, and then he turned on them. At the end of the day, these kind of squabbles do not matter, really. It is nice, I guess, in a way to, at the very least, see people actually swallowing the reality of how the Tates established dominance in the online sphere. But yeah, if you're going to take anything from what I'm just saying, drop the cope, okay? Drop the cope. There is truth, okay, in a lot of what I'm saying, all right? In the same way that people perceive there's a lot of truth in what Andrew and Tristan Tate are saying, okay? Take with a grain of salt, I guess, and at the very least, try to live your life in a better manner, all right? I'm going to see if I can find, one sec, I can show you real quick the clip from my Sneeko video, okay? It kind of talks about Tate. So for those who haven't seen my Sneeko video, this will be very, I guess, illuminating in a lot of ways, but one of those ways I really wanted to establish right off the bat, okay, I wanted to basically accurately frame the Tate brothers in how, immoral, amoral they are, okay? And so I'll show you my method of doing that, and it was basically to outline the clips of Tate talking himself, Okay, here, I'll show you.
You think Tate is goofy? Who the f do you like? Who do you look up to?
I don't look up to anyone, bro.
You should have a role model.
Why?
Every man should have a, or else how do you act? How do you base your decisions?
On what I think is right. Who do you think acts right and who do you think acts wrong?
Someone like Tate.
You think Tate acts right?
Yeah.
Man, people who don't understand the appeal of Tate are so out of touch with what it's like to be a teenager. Tate lives the exact lifestyle that young kids have been programmed to desire since they were born.
He's rich as he's a kickboxing champion.
Fast cars, fast fortunes. I mean, hell, he's even having sex with the girls in these kids' classes.
You're hot. So I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. I was like, give a f. Know about me. 21, I don't care. If you were to start lying and saying, I'm all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually. You get married at 16.
All right, in Romania it's 16, sorry. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. And we met and we felt whatever, we're in love. When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21.
Bruh.
One of my main chicks has 200,000 Instagram followers, and I took her virginity when she was 17.
So yeah, look, that is me kind of understanding the frame of who would look up to Tate. It's like, yeah, of course, like younger guys who don't have that much to show for their like accomplishments or whatever, and they see their lifestyle and they see their attitude and they're like, I want that. And I totally understand why somebody would want that, especially, you know, again, if they don't necessarily have that much experience, right? Now, just to highlight here, this is Tristan Tate saying, you know, he's kind of defending Drake Bell. 15 is legal in most civilized countries. Also Tristan Tate saying bragging, okay? This is again before these guys blew up, because before they blew up, they were a lot more mask off.
Echo chambers, I think, are largely to blame for this. With the internet, we only consume the informations we want to consume, and a lot of people now lack a lot of choice in what they consume due to the current state of social media algorithms.
Yeah, that's a big part of the irony of the mass availability of information, is that it's so sad, honestly, but it's just so much like, man, okay, the internet has made us so much smarter, so much more intelligent as a species, but it's also made us so much dumber. That was such a tangent, I even forgot. Here, so yeah, this is Tate talking about his bottom by the way, Vivian, okay?
For them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21.
Bruh.
So, yeah, all this to basically say that's Tate kind of out of his own mouth, saying that he started dating Vivian when she was at least 15, maybe 16, but at least 15. And Vivian, of course, became his bottom bitch. So, yeah, let's see. Tristan, I want to find this clip. If I dig harder, I can find it, but don't know how worth it is. Holy shit.
There is a way to get revenge on women. Every time I've heard anyone say, oh, my ex broke up with me.
You let me guess, he's going to say just be better.
She cheated on me. I need revenge. That's sick-minded. That's incel level shit. The only kind of revenge that you can get on a woman is this.
Ever.
Say goodbye politely. Keep working hard. Increase your value as a man. Wait 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, 11 years, and you know this story, the 11-year story. And wait till you are the man, and she's just now some chick, 28, 29, and she's like, Tristan, you know, it should have always been you. Then you can either tell her no or break her heart again. Then you win. That's the only way to get revenge.
Okay, alright. Let's see. I'm trying to find this. There's so many random clips of these guys bragging. Holy it's actually crazy how they pollute the algorithm. Oh, God. I'm trying to okay, Tristan Tate. Okay, this could be it then. Right, here we go. Let's see. Maybe this looks like a glaze piece.
Tristan Tate actually has a daughter he is not allowed to see, and also a daughter that was born that he has never met due to this case, and they are restricting him having access to his own family, and I'm gonna explain why. So if you guys remember, Tristan Tate's daughter was the first one to come in the media when he was getting visited from his baby mother and her, but he also had another daughter that was born that he was not allowed to meet. At the time, it said Tristan Tate is visited by his ex-partner and daughter in prison. Multiple other relatives and friends also went to visit the Tate brothers, and it says that it was claimed that she was a victim, even though she denies the claim, and tried to bring food for the brothers but was denied.
Yeah, this isn't what I'm referencing, but I don't know. Is this relevant? Oh, they removed the audio.
No, when I tried.
Bunch of wholesome content of the Tate hanging out with their daughters or whatever. I am not gonna lie. I'm not here to on that, obviously, but yeah, I know that this isn't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Tate's unfiltered opinions on his situation with his daughter. It is so hard to find information on these guys. It's crazy. Okay. I just want to show this just because I threw this out there. I made a comment just like randomly, and I just want to back it up, I guess. Here is what I was referring to. It's ironic that this is sponsored by steak. Okay, just degeneracy piled on top of degeneracy. But here is Tristan Tate saying something that should, honestly, in my opinion, you know, take that for what you will. But yeah, should be viewed as just disgusting. Here's his self-report.
I have slept with, in my life, and I'm going to say this just for a statistical analysis, well over 1,000 different women.
That's the entire post. Isn't that crazy? And so yeah, I mean that's pretty. Is the word degenerate? I don't know. It's just kind of gross, I think. But yeah, take that for what you will. But yeah, give me your opinion. And as far as, you know, supporting your creators goes, all right, I don't have any sponsor, but we do have these brand new Hubert NPCs, okay? These physical items. It's a snow globe. There's no water in this one, but we are selling a limited supply of these. I also have a gold one. We have these NPCs. They're custom made, okay? Very cool. And all you got to do is go to gokamerch.com, all right, and sign up for the email list. That's all you got to do. Once you're signed up to the email list, you will literally just be notified, only notified when these are available. And yeah, from there, you'll be in the loop, basically. You know what I mean? We also have, you know, some cool merch items, whatever. You want to support your boy in my, I mean, I've yet to cave to any gambling sponsorship offers, okay? I'll eat a banana if you ask me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's basically the best means to support me for those who are inquiring, okay? Buy my merch, gokamerch.com, all right? If you want to be involved in the community, if you're an artist, whatever, join my Discord. And if you want to watch a bunch of main channel content that has not been released yet, go to my Patreon, okay? patreon.com/Gokanaru. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, man, sign up for that damn email list, bro. These NPCs are fucking cool, and I hope that I can make money through making stuff instead of, you know, just taking on sponsors and not that I don't give a shit about, you know? We'll see what time reveals for me, but yeah, until next time, have a great week, okay? Mwah.